Good morning, Deb. How are you this morning? Good morning, Ms. M. That's better. The new orchid without the satellite dish in the background. Good morning, Anna. You are here as Anna. I can see it's you. And Ms. M, yay, finally recognized as a subscriber. Of course you are. Good morning, Kathy. You always are, whether or not Instagram or the technology of the YouTubes. That sounds nice, kind of, Deb. Deb is feeling a welcome exhaustion from a family weekend with family. Okay, friends, good morning. And Deb has started us off. We are at our Mandala universes, so if you're seeing this later, if you're seeing this now, and you're new here, you can subscribe and join the conversation. It will moderate you, and after 20 minutes, meaning, make a commitment, you can talk to us. So until then, we'll see if you joined. My name's Cheryl. I lead every other Sunday-ish, second and fourth anyway. And really happy to be here with you this morning. It's kind of gray, that kind of glary gray that foggy mornings can have, but there is some sun. Oh, hi, Za. Yes, thank you for saying who you are, because YouTube handles are different than our Instagram handles. So this group started 5 years ago, more than 5 years ago now, over on Instagram. The platform on Instagram has changed, so we had to find a new place to meet and join. We check in, we do some grounding, and then we draw, and we draw mandalas, and that's simply a circle, and into that circle we put whatever is arising for us. Yeah, most of us keep them in a notebook or a journal. We have stacks of journals, most of us in our bookcases, all with this practice. And Anna, my heart just goes out to you. I heard your news, and just really want to let you know that, holding you, it's a big loss when one of our furry ones makes the great leap. So, love to you. The comments have been flying. So if you want to put a check-in in the comments, I'm going to scroll back and get us checked in. I also forgot to bring something over that I wanted to this morning, so I'm going to see where we're at. Deb was checking in, feeling welcome exhaustion, a welcome exhaustion from a family weekend. And lots of love going out to you, Anna. We're all so glad you're here. Pamela's checking in. Good morning. Kathy's, Anna. Been wishing you well, Anna, says Ms. M. Za says za. And yay, a za. And a hi, Anna. And hearts flying. Ms. M, back and forth. Hi, Anna. So good to be in circle with you this morning. Feeling tired and missing our boy. Yeah. Michelina's saying, so glad you're here, Za. Ms. M, hello, Za. Lots of Za. And so glad I'm here. Been missing you all summer, says Anna. And Michelina says, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Hugs to all. Yeah. And Pamela's feeling super tired. Sleep is a distant friend right now. Sleep is so important too. Oof. Sorry about that. Ms. M, autumn arrives with the hope we see you, Anna. Yeah. And Zaha says, it took me forever to migrate over to YouTube. My 93-year-old dad has been having serious health concerns, and then last week my cat was injured. But today feels more peaceful, and I am grateful to be here. Oh, Zaha, that's holding a lot. I hope your cat is getting better too. Oh. And Dad. And Carol is here. Hi, everyone, and a special hello to you, Anna. So glad you found us. Sending lots of love your way. And Michelina is feeling ready for a very full work day at Quaker meeting. And Miss M is sending hugs. Yeah, Anna says, thank you, Cheryl. It feels like someone scraped my heart out of my chest with a dull knife. And yes, Ms. M, autumn is my time. Yeah. And Pamela, sending you strength, Za. You've got a lot happening. Yeah, I think a lot of us are in the phase where parents have either passed on or in that caregiving phase, and it's a lot. It's a lot to navigate our elders and to care for them with respect and love, and shift into an entirely new relationship with them. And yeah, just all the challenges of bodies as they grow old. So holding that. Saying love you all. Carol is saying glad you're here, Za, holding you through trying times. And Michelina is saying autumn is my favorite. Colors, smells, sounds, and rituals. And Anna is sending lots of love your way, Za, for your dad and your cat. Yeah, so it's 8:08 this morning already. One moment. Here. Gaze upon the Orly. I'll be right back. I wanted to take something from over here, and I forgot it. So I will be right back. Okay, back. So, one of the things we do in this circle is some grounding. I've been thinking a lot about my Zen practice lately, and one of the meditation instructions down at Tassajara that a friend was giving, and they go through all the forms. Zen has a lot of forms. It's very Catholic in its attire, and you walk in and you bow, and there's bells, and you're supposed to know when to rise and when to sit and what to do, but it all doesn't matter. You show up and you do your best and you learn, and the reason for all of that ritual is actually to create a cohesive full whole where all these separate energies and bodies come together, and they're moving as one body, and really expressing our interconnection, our interdependence, our interbeing, as John would say. But so within all that, this is how you fold your legs. This is what you do with your cushion. This is when you bow. One of the things is, the 3 bells ring at the beginning. That's the beginning of the period of meditation or zazen, just sitting. And 1 bell rings at the end. And I believe someone said, and what do we do? Well, that space of time is happening. And my friend said, oh, between the bells? I can't tell you. That's yours. But I thought maybe we would sit just a short period of zazen, just sitting. So I will ring the bells. And some of the instructions that go with the forms that can be really helpful for just sitting is finding an elongated spine. So there should be a little bit of effort, but a tremendous amount of ease. So yeah, you are using a little bit of effort to sit up straight. If you want to take a formal mudra position with your hands, we sit with the cosmic mudra. Okay, that's hard to do up here. I can do it here. It's the right hand, and the back of the left hand goes into it. So you're kind of cupping your hands, and then your thumbs come together. So I always like to think of this energetically. The right side is the outgoing, the reaching outside, and the left side is more of the receiving side. So you're actually quieting that outward energy when we put our left hand onto the right. And then the thumbs come together. So you have this lovely little circle. And the instruction is that it should be firm enough to hold a piece of paper and not so firm as to crush an ant. And then, of course, the shoulders up, back, and down. And the arms can find a place that's just a little bit away from the body. If they want to come in, that's fine too. But if you want to have a slightly more energetic sit, you can pull them out just a little bit. And again, it's an easeful effort. And the instruction here is that you would be able to place an egg in your armpit. These funny little ideas. And then the eyes typically are open, so we have all of our sense gates present. Eyes, nose, mouth, ears, skin. So our sense gates are present, but the gaze is slightly angled downward. And you can have a fixed point, or it can just be a soft, diffuse gaze. I'm going to go ahead. You can find your body in your place, in your seat. If you're lying down, just an awareness of your body, elongating the spine. If you're standing, again, the same thing, feeling your feet, finding your spine, finding your breath. We'll hear 3 bells to begin and 1 bell to close the period. We've been grounding and practicing together for quite a long time. So we know if our thoughts are racing, if they're circling, if they're tormenting us, we can let them pass through. We can say a gentle "not now," letting that thought know that it's safe, that we can give it attention in a bit. We have practices with the breath that we can engage with that feels comforting or helpful right now. It can be counting the breath. It can be extending the exhale. And we might notice sounds arising, filling the space and fading away. And usually at the end of a period of zazen, we bring our hands together in gasho, palm to palm, fingertips about nose level, elbows a bit out, again, some vigor, virya, and we bow. We bow to our community, bow to each other, we bow to what we create with each other. And as we are creating today, our circle, our sangha, creates mandalas. And as I said earlier, a mandala, it's the Sanskrit word for circle. So, with an in-breath and an out-breath, creating a circle in all its wobbly glory, and putting into it whatever is arising for you, symbolically, with shapes, colors, figurative drawings, words. You may just be stirring your coffee and maybe with a brush, applying that to the page. Ooh, lots of siren this morning. May all beings be well. catechism, second grade. And we were in a little building away from the church that was actually away from the rectory too. I don't know what, I think it was the original farmhouse on the land that the church was built on, or some part of it, but it was, yeah, more like used more like just a community space, but it was on the intersection, sort of the corner of the intersection of two in my little suburban neighborhood, pretty busy streets, and every once in a while a siren would go by, and the one thing of all the things from all the years of catechism that I remember was the nun instructed us to say a Hail Mary when we heard a siren, to wish well to those to whom the siren was going. And that has stayed with me. That is in my marrow, in my bones. That although in the city, I don't notice the sirens. That's something, sitting quietly, I'll hear them, but it's so commonplace that oftentimes I don't even notice them. And then I'll be like, oh, wow, okay, I guess there is a siren happening. And I still say Hail Mary. Or a quick Om Mani Padme Hum, which is kind of a seed mantra. Again, wishing all beings well. And there's lots of comments. Let's catch up again. What fun. Carol went apple picking yesterday. Yummy honey crisps. Wow. I mean, I know there are a new hybrid, so I'm just imagining a whole orchard of honey crisps. And it's like, I guess they're established now. There was a big article, I guess it was a couple years ago in the New York Times, on the apple hybrids, and the honey crisp in particular was a star of that show. Oh, and Pamela's saying, Scott took me to a coastal redwood grove yesterday, right here in Southern California. Crazy and lovely to soak in the energy of redwoods. Oh, and Carol saying that sounds relaxing. Carol, my fave, says Kathy. Emma Zim says, I'm so silly. I'd somehow paused the video and still saw the comments flying, but had no sound. Finally found the play button. Now I can hear you. What an auspicious start to my day. Maybe it's just going to have pauses and breaks and stillness. Could be. I was lost for 8 minutes and appreciate this grounding. And Kathy says, checking in fully myself. Powerful. And Michelina says, my friend taught me that. Oddly, my Catholic family teachers did not. And also, that's Dave's favorite apple. I'm loving the Macintosh out now. Oh, I am missing getting up to Boonville and Philo this year. I don't know, maybe I'll create it, manifest that somehow. I love going to the apple farm in Philo. It's owned by the people that have the Boonville Hotel. Actually, the family that originally owned the French Laundry started that, Sally Smith's family. And they have an apple farm where they have cultivated many of the heirloom varieties that were being lost. And it's, a traditional farm stand where you go and you weigh all your apples and then you put your money in the box. I think you can Venmo them now too. But it's just so special, and there's always just so many apples that I never even tasted before or again. And they're so beautiful. Most of them are much, much smaller I don't know if it's just the growing there. And it's also it's in the Anderson Valley on the way to Mendocino, so it's also a premium grape growing area. It's already 8:26, y'all. I had lots of things to tell you, but we were telling amongst ourselves. What I was going to tell you about, I was maybe even going to read to you something. I don't know if probably some of you have seen this book, The Happiness Project. It came out, I think, right before the pandemic, 2018. Tell you, oh, it's really old. 2009, right before the pandemic in my brain. And it's a woman that, and she kind of calls herself out as like, my life is fine. My life is good by any external standards. So yeah, why do I think I need to be happier? But she really goes in and examines her life and her habits. And it's written as a narrative, so it does draw on studies. It also draws on philosophers, but it is not a scientific book about do this and XYZ and chart A, and 27 of those, and definitely do eat this or definitely don't eat that. None of that. It's, her story. But this idea of like examining the habits, and what, and how to shift them. And I was like, and it was intriguing to me, this idea, because I definitely have habits that I've noticed were put in place at a time that they were really skillful and they really did their job. And then, as all things do, things changed. So I'm still doing the habits that once upon a time were really, really skillful. And I'm grateful for them. But they're not serving me now. So I actually started with my nighttime routine, because that actually is where we set up our day. And I've started like making my food ahead on my days off, like ironing all the clothes for the week, because I don't really care what I wear to work. I know I like my work wardrobe. I kind of coordinate colors to the planetary colors of the week. So I'm like, good, I got a Sunday outfit, fine. Yes, I will have like a golden tan skirt and a scarf that has some yellows, some sun in it. Not always black, but that's what you see me on my halfway ready for work Sundays. Making breakfast ahead of time. I had a habit of getting a salty snack and sitting down and reading, and then finally eating dinner at super late. So just re-examining all that, and starting there. And she kind of did like a set per month, and I'm kind of going new moon to new moon. So I'm looking at the evening routine, and then probably we're coming up to a new moon in a week. We'll look maybe at the morning routine or something else. But I've been intrigued. It's been an interesting process. And Anna says, Cosmic Crisps are my favorite. I have not even heard of those. Oh my gosh, I need to go Apple at least shopping. My fave in Washington was called Ginger Gold. I've yet to find one here. Oh. And Michelina says, devoted to inner peace. And Deb says, love heritage stories behind these varieties. Yeah, that a lot of that story keeping is also being held at the Philo Apple Farm. Who wrote this book? Carol says. And then Kathy said, Gretchen Rubin. I read that years ago. And Michelina is saying, love that habit review idea. and examine life, how we create alignment again and again and again. I love that reminder. Yeah, it was a big reminder, you know. And it is 8:30, so it is time to give you big hugs. Hopefully, the next time you'll see my face on this side of the screen will be from Tahoe with other faces joining me. If, you know, God willing and the creek don't rise. Um, it's been a pleasure always really holding you in my heart and looking forward to going out in my day, having spent this precious time with all of you. Makes my morning so rich. My life is so rich to have this circle to share. And Olivia saying good morning. So at 8:31, I want to honor the time. I'm going to read these last few comments. There's hearts coming up. Thank you, sending them right back. I have presented a program on apples for years, says Carol. Learned here there are over 7,500 varieties of apples identified, with many more hybrids unnamed. And then Ms. M says, love that, the creek won't rise. Yeah, okay, my dears. With a big bark and a big hug. Love you all, and I'll see you in the ethers and in a couple weeks on this side of the screen. Have a beautiful day.